Right, hello again. Welcome back to Books and Things. Today I'm going to be doing a video of my 2016 reading resolutions. So to start off with the Goodreads book challenge of how many books you can read in a year. For 2015 I set myself the challenge of reading 100 books in a year. Partly to prove that I could do it, and I did. I actually read 131 books last year, which was quite a lot. I'm feeling pretty pleased with that. I'm not changing my challenge for next year. I'm still going to put it at 100 books. It would be nice to read 100 books again, but I'm not necessarily wanting to read more. I could have put my goal higher, but to be honest, I don't really see the point, because I think this year, because I really wanted to read 100 books in a year, sometimes I ended up reading shorter books rather than longer ones to ensure that I've reached that goal, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to be trying to read 100 books again, and I will just see what happens. However, I have some other goals which are more important and more difficult. This is my TBR Bowl. It is a Dickens bowl, and in it there are lots and lots of little slips of paper, and all of these are all the books that I own that I haven't read. There are quite a lot. So I decided that there are a lot of books that have been sitting on my shelf for long enough, and I wrote a list of all the books I own, both in hard copy and on Kindle, that I haven't read. There are 94, it's quite a lot, and they're all in this bowl. So what I'm going to do is every month I'm going to pick out 2 slips of paper from this bowl, and those are books that I have to read that month, just so that I actually get through all the books I own, because I own so many, and they're all books I really want to read as well. I just haven't got round to it because I get excited by new things and I need to actually read some books I own. That is quite important, so I'm going to be doing that this year quite a lot, hopefully. So in terms of other goals that apply every month, I still have this, which my friend Celine gave to me for my last birthday, which is like a reading challenge for every month, and I have been doing them for the last 6 months, but occasionally I just don't do it, or I forget, or I half do the challenge and don't finish it, and I want to get better at definitely always doing them. My challenge for December was to listen to an audiobook, and I kind of didn't do that. I listened to some of an audiobook, but really not very much, so I'm going to try and get better with these challenges. I'm also going to try and read a non-fiction book every month. I really love non-fiction, especially history books. I used to read so many when I was at school and when I was at university, and then I've just kind of stopped, and I don't know why, and that's a shame because I'm really fascinated by history. I did my undergrad degree in history and English literature, but since I finished that a year and a half ago, I've read no history books. I don't think I've read a single history book, which is really sad because I really like them. It would be really nice to just read some more non-fiction because I really enjoy it and I just forget about it. There are also a few authors that I would like to read stuff by this year. These are authors that I have read one novel of before that I absolutely loved quite a while ago and then not read anything else by since. These are all authors that I'm desperate to read more by. The first is John McGregor. I spoke about him in my Christmas book haul. I'm actually halfway through the second thing I've read by him at the moment, but I loved his novel If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things that I read back in 2014, and I don't know why I haven't read anything else by him. I also want to read more by Kate Atkinson. Again, I read Life After Life back in 2014, absolutely loved it. Haven't read anything by her since, but I do now own Not the End of the World, and me and Lauren from Lauren the Books are going to try and buddy read it soon, so hopefully I'll read that soon. I would also like to read some more Salman Rushdie. Midnight's Children is one of my favourite books of all time, but I have never read anything else by him. Again, I don't know why. I read Midnight's Children 5 years ago, but I do own the Satanic Verses, so hopefully I will read that this year. I also would like to read more Ali Smith because I really enjoyed How to Be Both this year, and I could tell from her novel that it was not just that I liked the novel, but that I also liked her as a writer, because I just thought her writing was so good. And I do now own Other Stories and Other Stories, partly just because the title is really cool. I'm really excited to read this because I really like her writing, and short stories, always good. I also need to read some more David Mitchell. I read Cloud Atlas again in 2014, loved it, haven't read anything by him since, which I feel terrible about because I've met him twice, once at a talk he did in Bath and once at work quite recently, and he was so nice. I think he might be the nicest author I have ever met, and he signed my copy of Slade House, and I own a copy of The Bone Clocks, but I haven't read either of them, and it's bad. I need to read some David Mitchell, so yes, that is a plan for this year. There are also 2 slightly older authors that I want to read more of this year. One is George Gissing. I read The Netherworld in my 3rd year at university and loved it so much. He's kind of like an urban Thomas Hardy, and I thought The Netherworld was just brilliant, but then, again, haven't read anything by him since. Also, Ian Forster. I read Howard's End back in my 2nd year at university, so maybe 2 or 3 years ago? 3 years ago? Yes, time is weird. 3 years ago. And I really loved it, but again, haven't read anything by him since, and I really need to. So yes, those are the authors that I definitely want to read more of in 2016. I'm also going to try and buy less books. You know, in general, I don't believe in apologising for buying books because books are wonderful. Everyone on BookTube loves books, but I really do want to buy less books. This is partly because I own so many books that I haven't read, partly because I'm about to start an unpaid internship and I don't have any income lined up in my future, so I should probably buy less books. And also because at the moment, you know, I'm still living at home. I have this bookshelf. It's just so full. I don't have enough space or enough time to keep on buying more books. So I'm going to try and buy less. Moving on from my actual reading resolutions, I also have a few like BookTube and blog related resolutions. With my blog, I have a written blog. If you didn't know, I will link it down below. But for the last year and a half since I started it, I've been doing a book review every week. From now on, I'm only going to do them every 2 weeks just because it was getting to the point where it was just too much and I was getting stressed about it. It wasn't the writing of the book reviews that was the problem, but it's the reading the right books that I definitely want to review in time, because I was finding in the last year that I was reading things that I wanted to review rather than just reading stuff I wanted to read, and I was just getting really behind and getting a bit panicked about it. I figured it would just be easier if I do it every 2 weeks, so I'm gonna do that from now on, and so that I don't have to worry about it as much. I'm still gonna be posting on BookTube twice a week. I don't find that a problem because I'm not doing like individual reviews, I'm doing like a wide variety of videos, so I don't find it as hard as posting my blog. I'm gonna try and be better at the series, because the problem I have is that I start series like non-linear books and like How to Speak Victorian, and then it takes me ages to do like more. So I'm gonna try and not start a series unless I film like 2 videos already. However, saying that, there should be an episode of How to Speak Victorian up next week about the historical context of the Victorian period. Hopefully. Gonna be more consistent with the series, gonna try and get through all the tags people have tagged me in that I haven't done, and in general just carrying on making 2 videos a week. And I am looking forward to the beginning of February, where I'm going to do 2 weeks of Dickens as I did a week of Jane Austen in December. So I'm really excited about that. I need to find a time to film those videos, but I'm very excited about that. So yeah, those are my reading resolutions for the year. I just wanted to share them with you because I've really been enjoying watching other people's resolution videos. So hopefully you will have enjoyed this. Let me know what your literary related resolutions are for the year, and I'll be back on Monday with another video.